Hello artists! Today I'm going to talk you through your type tool. Your type tool is one of the most important tools you have in Adobe Illustrator. It is located right over here on your toolbar, and it is very easy to find because it is the letter T. So for your assignment, I want you to create an original piece of artwork using your type tool. The shortcut key for the type tool on your keyboard is also the letter T. So over here on the left-hand side of my screen, I wrote down 10 adjectives to describe me, Miss Kruger, your teacher. So I want you guys to start out by doing the exact same thing. You can do so by making a new text box. So if you select the type tool, you can then input any letters you want. So I already went and made my list, and I pulled it over here just to have it a little bit out of the way. But I want you guys to pick 10 adjectives to describe you. As you can see from my list, I have things like creative, funny, weird, artistic, introverted, clumsy, gentle, clever, woke, and productive. Before you get started editing your text, I want you to make sure you check your spelling. Illustrator is really smart and can do that for us. So if I go up top to edit, I can go down to this button that says check spelling. You guys have a slightly newer version of Illustrator than I do, so you might need to go to check spelling, and there might be like a little over menu that has a start button. So yours might look slightly different, but it's essentially the same. It's edit, check spelling, and then you just have to hit the start button. If there's nothing spelt wrong, it'll come up blank. If there are things spelt wrong, it'll come up in here and you can change them or ignore them. So just make sure you check your spelling before you get super invested in your artwork. So I have my words over here. Today, I'm going to show you how to use the type tool, the area type tool, the type on a path tool, the vertical type tool. I'm also going to expect you to try the vertical type on a path. So there's all kinds of fun options here in your Adobe Illustrator. So let's start with the type on a path tool, which is this guy. To click in between these, you just have to control click on your keyboard and you can swap between all these different type tools. Before I can use my type on a path tool, I have to create a path. To do that, I am first going to start out by making a circular path. So I'm going to hop on my circle tool, or my ellipse. I'm going to swap it so I don't really want to fill right now, and I'm just going to give it a really simple black stroke. Now if I get on my type on a path tool, I just have to click somewhere along the outside of this circle for it to work. If you click inside, it's not going to work. So if you get an error, it's because you're clicking inside of something instead of along the path. As you can see, if you type along the path, I'm just going to go ahead and insert my first word, which was creative. Over here on the right side of my screen, I can change the font and the size. So Adobe automatically makes everything in Myriad Pro. I do not want to see Myriad Pro when you guys go to turn this on. I want to see some different fonts. So I'm going to change mine to American Typewriter, and I'm going to set the size to 72 just so it is nice and large. Maybe I'll set it to 60. All right. So I have my first word, and it is nice, and it is using the type on a path tool. For my second word, I am going to jump up to the area type tool. So very similar to your type on a path, you need to start by making a shape first. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and make a star. And I'm actually going to make 2 of these, and you'll see why in just a minute. Just so these are easier to see, I'm going to go ahead and make them a lighter color. Now, if I get on my area type tool, kind of opposite of what you just did before. I don't want to click on the outside of the object, I want to click inside of it. Here we go. Now I can type inside of this star. So I'm going to use the word funny. And again, I'm going to come over here and change my font again. That way I have lots of different, interesting looking fonts. Please make sure you choose things that are readable. Then I'm going to go ahead and make mine a little bit smaller. Maybe I can go a little bigger than that. There we go. So I'm typing in front or inside of the star. As you can see, it kind of makes the star or the shape you're typing in disappear. So I'm just going to pull this back on top. That way I have my lettering on top of my shape. The next type tool, which is very easy, is the vertical type tool. So you can make a text box lengthwise and type into it. Just want to make it again and go a little bit bigger. So this time I'm going to write artistic. And I'm going to size this down. Actually, what I can do, I can pull this down so it just makes my text box a little bit bigger. Artistic. I don't know why it's being so silly. Let's go ahead and just replace it with the word artist. Artist. Here we go. And then for my next one, I could do the same thing. I could do a vertical area type tool inside a shape again. I could do a vertical type on a path tool. And then I want you guys to ignore your touch type. So by the end of this assignment, you should have created a beautiful list of 10 adjectives to describe yourself. And I want to see again some different fonts. I want to make sure that you know how to use all of the different type tools. Instead of having just a plain white background for this assignment, I'm also going to show you a very easy way to create a background. So kind of similar to Photoshop, Illustrator thinks in layers. So if I come over to the right side of my screen and I make a new layer and I drag it down, if I get on my rectangle tool, I can select a color for my rectangle. Ooh, that's a bright pink. And I can make a very simple background that way. Okay, so again, by the end of the assignment, you should have 10 adjectives about yourself. They should be written in all kinds of different fonts, and I should be able to recognize that you used the various type tools to make your assignment. And then when you go to save in Adobe Illustrator, please make sure you go to File, Save As, and make sure you save it as an Adobe PDF. You can go back and edit the PDFs, and they save very nice and high quality. And that is it. Please let me know if you have any questions for me.